journos going, I've just heard that Wilder's won the arbitration and the rematch is ordered. Do you know anything about this? And I'm like, no. So, but quite unusual that you'd get a couple of messages like that without any kind of foundation. So I phoned Bob Arum. And I said, Bob? And he went, oh, you're not going to believe it. Can't believe it. Just a ridiculous decision. We lost the arbitration. Can't believe it. I mean, so I said, what the fuck's going on? And he said, I know, no one saw this coming. I mean, they didn't even ask for the rematch. You know, they asked for damages and, you know, so. And I said, well, what are you going to do about it? And he said, nothing. I said, well, what's your next move? And he went, we're fighting Wilder. I said, hold on. I said, there's got to be a deal to be done. I said, you got to try something. Oh, look, they're not going to be interested in that. We're just going to fight Wilder and then, you know, we can do our fight later. And I thought, he said, but look, I'm talking to everyone later. Let me come back to you. And I was like a bit shell-shocked at the time, so put the phone down. I thought to myself, I've spent 5 months of my life being told that I can't do something, right? And I've worked, I haven't given up, and we've done it. And you have told me all along that this arbitration process will have absolutely no bearing on AJ against Fury. And all of a sudden, just like that, you just tell me, sorry mate, it's over. I mean,
those are the words of Eddie Hearn as he was explaining about Bob Arum and what went on with the conversation he had with Bob Arum. And he reiterated the fact that the whole time Bob Arum told him that the arbitration wouldn't affect the negotiations that they currently had to get Anthony Joshua in the ring with Tyson Fury for the undisputed heavyweight championships of the world. And with one day, Bob Arum says, hey, yeah, it's ridiculous. They didn't ask for money. They didn't even ask for a rematch. They asked for money. They asked for damages. And he ruled against us. I don't know. I'm sorry about that. And of course, you heard Eddie was like, well, okay, well, what are you going to do? What's the next move? Oh, we're going to fight Wilder. Let me counterpunch. Basically, this is what happened. Bob Arum lied to Eddie Hearn. He lied to Eddie Hearn. He told Eddie Hearn that it wouldn't be a problem. That was fuck up number one. Fuck up number two was, because he lied, Eddie Hearn went into motion this full stretch of time, which was from January, February, March, April, May. So 5 months, this fight has been going up and down in different places, flying all over the place. And if you noticed, like Eddie Hearn said, there was no type of positive feedback that he received from any of those guys. Let's continue.
It took me a while to sort of get my head around. And this is another reason I wanted a little bit more time before I did a lot of interviews, because I wanted to analyse the situation. People's reaction. AJ.
So, Bob Arum told Eddie Hearn that he had no, that there was no way that this was going to affect anything. To simply counterpunch this, people, Bob Arum's a liar. He lied to Eddie Hearn about the whole thing. He lied to Eddie Hearn about the whole thing. He didn't tell Eddie Hearn the full scoop. If that tells you anything, how do we know that this was a serious fight to be made? Could it have been a trial run? Could it been to the point where they just wanted to see what Eddie could do, to see if it was made or could be made, to see if it was possible? Like, let's see if we can go on negotiations, like a pre-negotiation like term, but we have another fight going. That's bad for business. And it's bad for business for a lot of reasons. See, Deontay Wilder and PBC and Fox, they were still under this arbitration and they were still fully deep in it, where Eddie Hearn also was. If you heard, Tyson Fury says he's spending millions of dollars. You know, you don't know how true that is. You know what I mean? I know he was spending something, but millions of dollars to make sure this goes the way it's supposed to go. But at the same time, if you're spending that type of money, you can't guarantee anything that you're paying a lawyer for a lawyer to get done. And if that's what he was spending his money on, he spent it wrongfully, right? But it just shows you how easy Bob Arum decided to take the fight. If that's what Bob Arum said, because he could have lied to Eddie again. He could have said, well, they didn't ask for damage. They didn't ask for this or that. Eddie wasn't there. He doesn't know it for himself. And if I'm Eddie Hearn, why would I trust anything that comes out of Bob Arum's mouth right now? Because a lot of things I think they purposely kept from Team Joshua, including Eddie and Matchroom, because they didn't want Matchroom to know. Now, the problem about that is, why wouldn't they want Matchroom to know about what was going on? See, it's easy to say, well, Eddie Hearn, you should have knew better. You should have knew better with dealing with Bob Arum. Bob Arum's a legend in this game. So it's not every day this type of shit happens with Bob. But who knew that Bob was going to withhold information and to keep these negotiations, or really negotiation, to keep Eddie Hearn working like he was doing to get a fight made that was never going to happen? The only thing that I can positively come up with is Bob Arum knew that that fight was going to happen, but he knew that, hey, by the time Eddie Hearn gets it done, we've been and fought Deontay Wilder and then beat Deontay Wilder. And then by the time that's over, he'll have that fight deal done. And then with assurances, now we don't have Wilder to worry about. So then we can move right over onto that negotiation, since we didn't have to lift a finger to do any fucking thing in the first place. Counterpunch, if you really think about what I'm saying, because all of those statements, Bob Arum, Frank Warren, John Fury, Tyson Fury, everybody was trying to get this fight pushed back. Now we know why. It was pushed back because they had no intentions of fighting Anthony Joshua at this time. They didn't want to fight Joshua at this time. They wanted to fight after their tune-up fight. Okay? But one thing, rest assured, that Eddie Hearn should learn from this, that he cannot trust Bob Arum. He cannot trust Bob Arum. He can't trust that, hey, we got a contract signed. He can't trust any of that stuff. And then if he knew, if there's any other thing that Tyson Fury needs to do, Tyson Fury will always do that first. That's something that he should have learned. But I understand the frustration of Eddie Hearn. Yeah, he got fucked. He did. You know what I mean? He got railroaded because he was the only guy that did anything. You think it didn't cost money, him flying back and forth to Saudi Arabia and this, that, and different places in China, contacting all these people for site fees and stuff? That costs money. That costs a lot of time. Right? So I think at the end of the day, Eddie Hearn should be pissed, but I think he should watch and really take look at a situation like Bob Arum like a grain of salt, because there's no guarantee that Bob Arum is ever going to put his fighter in with Anthony Joshua. Even though as much as he hates Anthony Joshua or not, it doesn't really matter to Bob Arum. Bob Arum only cares about Tyson Fury. And if they can use Anthony Joshua's name to sell tickets, why not? Because that fight wasn't really a desired fight. Yeah, for a certain demographic, for a certain sector of people. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Eddie Hearn's comments towards Bob Arum. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.